Now, interesting is also that Vedic philosophy categorizes people also in three groups, which each have a particular tendency towards one of these three yogas. And these three groups are defined by body types, although the description of it is not always so 100% clear, meaning that you can be having one body type, but still some elements of other body types may also be there. So you are never 100% this or 100% that or 100% that. So what are these three body types? The first one is wind dominated. Typical body is like mine, thin, long. Wind dominated means thinking a lot because of the element of wind. I won't explain really that relationship because it would take us far into Ayurveda and biochemistry according to Ayurveda. But that's basically how you can define this type, the wind dominated type, which is relatively thin in body type and thinking a lot. So what yoga will this one prefer? Jnana Yoga. Thinking is the best thing for him. Thinking is what he can do best. So then for him logical to go for Jnana Yoga. Then another body type is the athletic type, fire dominated, action motivated, the kind of people who can't sit down for a long time, who want to act. They don't want to think, they don't want to talk, they don't want to have all kinds of emotions, they want to, move forward. For them, logically, Karma Yoga is the most obvious. And then there are people who are more emotional, to whom feelings are the most important. They generally have a more round body type, you could say. That doesn't mean they have to be fat or anything, but their shapes are more rounded. Those people, as I say, are more emotional, so they are more likely to go for Bhakti Yoga. So this is interesting for yourself a little bit to ask. No? And if you really want to know your body type, you need an Ayurvedic doctor, because many factors are involved, and not just being thin or athletic or more rounded will really tell you what body type you are, because these things are also, for example, influenced by your lifestyle, by the kind of food you eat and so on. Somebody who might have been rather athletic in build in youth may have become very thin because of a lot of worrying and a lot of problems and too much cigarette smoking and things like that. So the best way to find your body type is to think what body type you had in puberty. At least if as a child you already have not been spoiled so much with sweets, for example, that made you very fat and already took away your original body type then. So as I say, if you really want to know it, you have to kind of see an Ayurvedic doctor. But the general idea there is very interesting to understand, that these three yogas are really for three different kind of people, very suitable. Which does not mean that an intellectual person, a wind-dominated person, should not be into bhakti. As a matter of fact, it may be very important for that person who has a tendency to live too much in his head and is not enough connected with his feelings, then to do some rituals, to do some chanting, to do some devotional activities may be very liberating for him. But his tendency will always be more towards solving the problem through the intellect, through the thinking. Likewise, a bhakta, who is more emotional, may also at some point really need to think a little bit, so that his emotions don't run out of hand, and his devotion doesn't then run out of hand, and that he is also a little bit understanding what he is doing. And then also those, athletic built people, very action dominated, also sometimes need to think, also sometimes need to feel. So really those three make a mixture, and we all make our own mixture, A little bit depending on our original body type or our original tendencies. But we need all of them.